Alright guys, so I have some interesting piece of hardware for you. So what's that? This is AMD BC-250. This is the BC stands for Bitcoin. This is a crypto mining board which is normally used in a stack of several 6, 12, I'm not sure how many pieces together work in the server stack. Basically they were using the PlayStation 5 chips, which by any reason wasn't good for the gaming console. So they cut 2 cores, meaning that here we have chip from PlayStation 3.5 gigahertz AMD chip, but with 6 cores and 12 threads, and also GPU was also cut some compute units, but generally it is still quite powerful piece of hardware. You can find that on eBay for from 50 to 100 US dollars, and basically this is entire computer. So it has SSD port, NVMe. Unfortunately it is slow, but well, for loading the games and operating system it will be fine. It has the power supply. It has some special connector which we're not gonna use, but it has also PCIe 8-pin connector, which I'm gonna use in my case. I'm gonna use this kind of power supply. It's the Dell power supply up to 300 watts, depending the model which you get. I got it also for very cheap. The board is from 50 to $100, depends how lucky you are. Power supply was 20 bucks. Well, what we have here power on and the reset button. We have 2 USB slow, we have 2 fast USB, LAN and display port with possibility to have a sound output. Here we have SSD. Here we have connection for the cooler. So basically this is a main motherboard, CPU and GPU, everything on one board. My intention is to modify this top heatsink in order to put just a regular 120mm cooler. So I'm gonna open this part in order to use the original heatsink to cool the board. It should be pretty simple. On the back plate here you also have some modules of the memory VRAM contacting the board. Basically it has 16 gig of combined memory, same as PlayStation, and it's shared between GPU and the CPU. So in the BIOS you can choose either you like 8 and 8 or any other options. We'll see that. So my intention is to install a cooler, SSD, install Linux, and I'm gonna try to convert that into some kind of a gaming rig for probably for 1080p maximum, but we're gonna see how it goes. Yeah, it's a interesting engineering adventure to use some e-waste like that. I bought it for 60 bucks. I bought the power supply for 20, so plus SSD and some other things. Maybe we can get something like 100 US dollar or a little bit 100 plus gaming PC. Well, it's a really a cheap basic thing, but it's interesting to try. So I'm gonna install Linux here because there are no drivers for the Windows, unfortunately, for the video. So I'm gonna install in Linux. In Linux you have the driver Mesa support this video chip, thanks to some great people who managed to compile drivers for that video chip. So I'm gonna install the Linux, and yeah, I'm gonna install Steam. My main purpose is to make it a small Steam gaming rig for the living room, or well, it's just interesting what we can do from this piece of equipment. All right, see you later. All right guys, it's me again. So look what I have now. I nearly finished my Frankenstein project. What I have is as I explained before, I cut the the top part here, this thin layer, this area, I made the cuts below the fan. You can see it from there, and install the fan. So like that. This is a standard 120mm fan. It's blowing, it's very quiet, and hot air escapes on the side here and here. What else I did? I added SSD disk here, so it's PCI 2.0 X2 only. It's 1 gigabit port, but okay, it's still faster than SATA and it works very fine. What else? Most interesting is on that side. You won't believe, but that's how I managed to make a passive cooling of the RAM and VRAM, because the chips of memory, they're on that side, and this aluminum plate is a kind of heat shield or heat dissipation device. So the idea is, when it's installed, the card is installed in the rack, that the air is blown this way, it's going through the fins, and it's also cooling down the plate. As we have card separate, I have passive cooler. So what I did, I made a tiny holes in this aluminum plate, and I attached this big, well, that's the one I have. I use what I have. It's e-waste, you know. So, and I use the thermal paste and nicely secure it over here. I remove the plate first, secure it, put it back, and I can tell you that it's very efficient. Apparently it hits maybe till 55 degrees, something like that, because the plate gets very hot, and with this one it works very stable. So I use the Furmark and a couple of heavy games to make a kind of stress test, and my result is at this condition with the overclock, it's reaching 75 degrees, stable for the CPU and GPU, and not moving any further. I can still experiment with undervolting, but for a moment my idea was to boost the performance as much as possible. So regarding the power supply, the power supply I used, as I said before, is this simple Dell. It's you can see the model is D220P. It's very cheap. It's maybe 10-15 US, and the only thing is that I had to make well, kind of converter, because this is a standard PCIe power like we have on the video card, but this is actually a special proprietary Dell plug, but it's very similar to PCIe. It has 12 volts, it has 4 inputs of 12 volts and 4 grounds. The PCIe has 3 and 5 grounds, so it was very easy to make this converter. So that's how it is. I can tell you that it's very efficient. I'm gonna add some results of my testing. It's incredible little machine, maybe not so little anymore with that fan, but well, with that heatsink. Anyhow, it's very cheap and it's run perfectly. With the stock settings, stock condition, I installed Bazite OS. It's a free Linux Steam OS version. So I downloaded the image for Steam Deck. It's for free. It's very easy to install. There are multiple guides on the website of Bazite. You have a clear guidance, so it's perfectly installed. It's all the GPU drivers, everything works absolutely fine. As you know, in Steam Deck you have also option to go to desktop mode to get a regular Linux access. So what I got in Cyberpunk, just as a reference, in the Cyberpunk, at the standard settings, stock, this GPU runs at 1 1500 megahertz locked. At that frequency I got 60 FPS average in Cyberpunk with the Steam Deck preset, but full HD resolution and FSR at 3.0 balanced. 60 steady FPS in Cyberpunk at full HD for the price of probably not even a dinner, for the price of a lunch in US, right? So what I did as well, I installed a utility which is called Oberon Governor, which is able to alter the clocks of the GPU. It's a bit finicky the way how you have to install it, but it's not so difficult, I would say. I was not so proficient in Linux, so I need the help of the guys, but community is quite already growing, and I installed this Oberon governor, and this card boosts to 2 gigahertz easily without any issues, working very stable. And I got stock condition 60 FPS with the 2 gigahertz 66, but there is a trick. The trick is that Cyberpunk particularly is not very happy with the VRAM versus RAM allocation. Stock allocation is 8 GB for the VRAM and 8 GB for RAM. What the community suggested me is to flash a custom BIOS which has an option to choose the buffer size of VRAM, and what is incredible, that by choosing only 512 megabytes of VRAM, system itself accept this 512. It takes as much as necessary and balancing between RAM and VRAM, and in Cyberpunk with 2 GHz clock and these settings I received 76 average FPS with the same settings. So I started with 60, with the boost I got 66, and with this change of the BIOS and the settings for VRAM, 76 FPS. So from the beginning I got more than 25% extra for free, which is incredible. And well, I'm gonna continue testing. For the temperatures with this setup, I have steady 75 degrees on GPU and CPU. Well, a little bit, maybe a little bit high, but again, very silent fan, stock cooling solution, and passive brick of aluminum behind. That's what I have. I'm gonna share with you some updates later on, and see you. Alright, so what we have now? Now we have new design, aluminum box. On the aft, on the rear side, we have 6 aluminum passive heatsinks to cool down the RAM. Here we have all I/O. Here we have 1800 RPM fan, which works perfectly. It is absolutely enough. So the air is pushed inside and escapes here and here, and the back plate is touching the aluminum case, and heat is transferred to these passive heat sinks. Works as well quite okay. Alright, what I did additionally, I installed this small 3.5-inch IPS screen. It goes like that. Unfortunately, I don't have any on the board. There is no USB which I can use, so I had to come out here and plug it this way. I'll show you later how it works. And here I have my opening for the power. Alright, so I'm gonna connect it over here and switch it on, and I will show you how it works. Alright, I just put it on the rotating stand so you can see exactly how it looks, but of course I'm not going to use it in the day-to-day operation. Alright, see you. I will show you very soon what is inside. Alright guys, so let me show you how did I fix the BC in the case. So as you see, I used some industrial aluminum case from the power supply, and yeah, I was lucky to realize that it can fit BC very well. So let me show you how it fit inside. It is very tight fit, but it works very well. So you can see that the card takes entire space, and alright, the fan blows the air through the heat sinks. Inside I have the SSD. This cable I'm using to connect these small screen. I will show you later. I am using it to display a metrics of the system, temperature, speed and stuff like that. So just USB going all the way here. For important jumpers we have here near the battery we have one jumper for auto power on. As soon as you supply the power, it will switch on the BC, but I don't like it. I like to switch it on like a console or PC. So this one little jumper over here, it helps you to switch off this auto start, and you can use the button here just to switch it on. All right, second is the BIOS reset. Here we have the connection of the fan. It works. Fan is 1800 RPM. It's absolutely enough. And okay, let me assemble it back and switch it on to show you how it runs. Alright guys, so let me show you how it works. Here is my beautiful junk PlayStation for homeless people. So let's put it on. Poof. It has extra power by the RGB. No RGB, no high FPS, you know. Alright, so let's see. I uploaded the logo of Steam because this is the best thing we can get. Alright, so what do we have here? Here we have I use the USB hub to connect mouse and keyboard. I use DisplayPort to HDMI converter and a dongle for Wi-Fi. Alright, and here is my power brick connected here. So this is what it is. Let's wait until my SteamOS Bazzite type is booting. Here we are. Alright, so here we go. And we have a console. Alright. Well, that is how it goes. Let me show you a little bit about this screen. So what I did, I put this small screen, and using Turing smart screen program, I managed, after spending some time, to connect it to and hook it to the Linux. So what it shows the time, it shows the GPU speed, it shows the CPU current speed, RAM, temperatures, power, and of course the main topic of this video is from erase to Steam machine. Alright, so alright, I'm gonna record some gameplays with few games I have, like Cyberpunk, Horizon Zero Dawn, something else, just to show you how it works. But basically you get well, a relatively slim console for very cheap. Of course, depends how you will arrange the case for this device. It can be just standing on the open desk, or it can be you can 3D print something. But I'm gonna show you how it plays. Alright, my display port to HDMI doesn't allow me to connect 4K or some very high resolution monitor. I'm using this TV I have is Full HD TV. Well, somebody still have this shit, you know. And I'm gonna use it basically for full HD video games, and that works very fine. Just that you understand, the processor is inside is more or less something between Ryzen 1600 and 2600. It's a Zen 2, but it's not as fast as desktop processor, because it has this GDDR6 memory, which is RAM and VRAM, and the cut down video is something close to RX 6600. All right, so by the, maybe it's slightly slower, maybe it's something like 3060 RTX laptop edition, and maximum boost is 2000 megahertz of the GPU, and CPU 3500, 6 cores. All right, yeah, well, that's it for a moment. I will attach some gameplay videos, and here we go. If somebody is interested, guys, eBay, the junkyard, and that's it. See you.
Henry? Looking forward to new adventures? Adventures that will become the stuff of legends?
Of course I am. We'll show them what fine fellas have turned up on their doorstep.
You bet we will. We'll hand over our important message and then hop, skip to the nearest tavern. We'll drink to our success, chase some local wenches, eh? But why didn't Uncle Hanners take care of it himself? Unless, maybe he's just testing it.
Aye, it does look like that. He'll hand over all the Rat Eye estates to you one day. So I expect he wants to be sure you won't botch it.
Of course. How could I possibly botch it up? There are foreign armies rampaging through Bohemia. The king is in camp. But he's God knows where, and here we are in the middle of it all, carrying an important document. No, I intend to make the most of this trip, one way or another.
So do I. How is that? Fortuna...
Audentes fortuna juvat! See now, that's the Henry I know and love. Well, enough of the chat. Trotsky's almost within reach.
So how's it looking now?
All good, Oaks. But keep your eyes on the road ahead. Exactly. If anything in front of us even looks like it's moving, we want to know.
Take your hair off, eh?
So one last thing to show you is on the heavy game like Stalker, what is the temperature. So that's how it looks. The power draw is about 120, depends on the game, and yeah, you can see the temperatures and power consumption, and the game is as heavy as Stalker running this way. So I'm just turning here, and that's what I get. You see, sometimes picking up to 147, 150, let's say, what this is the maximum what I get usually in the games. Yeah, this is full HD, medium settings, what the one I found to be acceptable. Alright, so that's it. That's end of the story of my little PlayStation junk version. I hope you like it, guys. See you.